Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Thanks to beloved Baba for allowing us to meet again. Today is the what should I say? Dubai's prerogative to host us, and we are reading Meher Baba Calling. We are reading Meher Baba Calling. Page number is 1717. So Soumya would now read the message. I'm sorry to beloved Baba and to all of you. I logged in a little late because there was some issues with my login process computer. All right.
No, I had some technical difficulty. That's what
know
happened.
there is some.
Yeah.
There was some problem.
Yeah.
Rajnikant ne jara moklawa ne please. Can you Rakesh? Can you send it to Rajnikant? Ask Rajnikant to please call. Then how? Okay. Samir, come. Keep your face.
Chapter 17. Keep your face towards me. Keep your faces turned towards the sun of truth, and your shadow of individualized Maya will lie behind you, and though still existent, will have no power over you. But if you turn your backs to the sun, your shadows will be before you, and you will be following them. Although of yourselves you cannot get rid of your shadows, if you turn your backs on them and keep facing the sun at the time of his full ascendance and glory, your shadows will disappear forever. For those on the spiritual path, I am the sun, giving them light and life. The best is just to remember me and forget everything else, leaving everything to me.
All right. I'll be putting on my earphone. Yesterday, I made a blunder of not removing it when the questions were being asked, as a result of which the recording which I sent to Rakesh must have been a little, what should I say? Only the answers were there, the questions were not there. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Rakesh?
yes, perfect.
Okay, lovely.
Loud and clear.
Lovely. So this is page 17. Keep your face towards me. Keeping our face towards Baba, in my understanding, would tantamount to remembering him, making him our constant companion, depending on him, relying on him, obeying his wish, and surrendering to him. These are some of the things which I would say what means keep your face towards me. Baba says, keep your faces turned towards the sun of truth, and your shadow of individualized Maya will lie behind you. Obviously, when you are facing the sun, your shadow is behind you. When you are backing the sun, the shadow is in front of you. The sun is Meher Baba. The shadow is all the aspects of Maya, ignorance, illusion, etc., etc. They will be there, but they won't bother you. They won't confront you. They won't be a kind of inhibition for you towards progress. They are there, but they won't be a restraint on your further progress. And those still existent will have no power over you. Baba has often said that Maya or illusion will continue to exist. I have not come to destroy Maya because Maya in itself is nothing but illusion. I have come to make you aware of the nothingness of this illusion. We have to pass through illusion. We have to confront illusion. we have to handle illusion and we have to rise above illusion. That will always be there because that is the medium or the madhyam through which truth is realized. There can never be a time when illusion is not there unless you are realized. At that time, illusion ceases to be because in reality or in truth, it never was. So Baba says here, and those still existent will have no power over you. But if you turn your backs to the sun, if you turn yourself away from Baba, if you do not want to remember him, do not want to make him your constant companion, do not want to keep on shuttling all the time, like how the sniff dogs, they would go to the site like that. If you don't keep on going to him, reaching out to him, remembering him all the time, that is the meaning of turning your face away from the sun. So Baba says, if you turn your backs to the sun, your shadows will be before you and you will be following them. In other words, if you turn away from from Baba, if you turn away from Baba, you will be following the illusion, the ignorance. You will be deeply entrenched, deeply embedded in illusion and in ignorance. Instead of just being in ignorance and not being affected by it, you will be affected, you will be drawn inside, you will be sucked in the illusion. Although of yourself, you cannot get rid of your shadows. If you turn your backs on them and keep facing the sun at the time of his full ascendance and glory, your shadows will disappear forever. In other words, like our normal shadow, which casts itself when we go out in the sun. We all know that when the sun is at right above us, the shadow is almost negligible or it is not there at all. In other words, what Baba says is, if you keep on following me, keep on loving me, keep on holding on to me through thick and thin, then when the time comes when that sun is at its ascendance, that means if it is at its height, at that time the shadow will totally disappear. In other words, once if you hold on to him, then there will come a time when you will get rid of illusion once and for all, forever. Okay. For those on the spiritual path, I am the sun giving them light and life. In other words, Baba is saying that I am the sun who is giving life and light to those on the spiritual path. My take would be that he is the life and light of everyone and everything in creation. It is just that we are unconscious of that life and light in our life, whereas those on the spiritual path, because they are also dreaming, as Baba had said earlier, they are dreaming the real dreams. They are somewhat aware, they somewhat experience the light and the life of beloved Baba. And therefore, perhaps therefore that is the statement that for those on the spiritual path, I am the sun giving them light and life. But actually Baba gives life and light to the most inanimate substance also. But that because that substance is unconscious of Baba's life and light, perhaps that's the reason why Baba only spoke about those on the spiritual path. The best is just to remember me and forget everything else, leaving everything to me. This Baba keeps on harping the same, what should I say, thought process, that just leave everything to me. And in my understanding, when Baba says, leave everything to me, it does not mean that you would not try. One has to be practical, and the oft repeated example that I give is, if you are sick, you cannot just say, Baba, I leave it to you. and you expect to be cured, because Baba was a very practical master. He would expect you to do your part of the whole function, to play your role in the scenario in which you are placed, and then leave everything to Baba. This is my take on it. But maybe, perhaps time may come, and there are those who are so thoroughly, totally dedicated, resigned, and surrendered to Baba that even that aspect of the effort is not required, and Baba takes care of everything. As for example, the musts. They don't, it's not like, okay, I'm doing this and so Baba will take. They are totally relying on the divine intervention in their own life. But that is a different level of consciousness where they are also utterly indifferent to whatever happens to them. We can't toggle between two levels in the sense, okay, I don't want to do anything. Like I don't want to study. I don't want to take care of my health. I don't want to do any job. But automatically Baba would provide for me. That will not happen. But for must, why things are happening? Because they are so utterly dependent on God, on Baba, that they are utterly, what should I say, totally accepting what comes their way. That we don't do. The moment things do not go the way we want it to go, we will start complaining to Baba. Baba, why is this happening to us and all that? So that there should not be two standards. If you are really utterly depending on Baba, as Baba says, leave everything to me, then there should be no grudge. There should be no complaint. You should just accept anything and everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as coming from Baba, and be resigned to that. So with this, we have finished one paragraph or one chapter. If anybody has any questions, I will just sort of unmute myself from the headphone so the questions can be heard and also recorded. Anybody has anything to say? Anybody? No. Okay. So then we go on to the next chapter. Okay. Go ahead.
Chapter 18. Free yourself from bondage. If you can love me, love God. Your love will make you know me. If you can make others happy without seeking your own happiness, you can free yourself from this bondage. You can then find me as I really am. No sooner you do get that experience, then you feel liberated and experience infinite bliss. God's grace makes you love me. My grace makes you want with me. If any number of calamities befall you and still you keep a smiling face, this may lead you to become like dust, and you can become like dust only if you possess the highest type of love for me. To love God as he ought to be loved, you must live for God and die for God, knowing that the goal of all life is to love God and find him as your own self.
So this is chapter number 18. Free yourself from bondage. We are here with only one aim, that is to free ourselves from the bondage of ignorance. In other words, it can mean so many things. It can mean eradicating all our samskaras. It can mean achieving liberation of mukti, and it can also mean attaining God realization. So here Baba says, if you can love me, love God. In other words, what I understand it from this sentence is that if you really love me, that means you are loving God. Your love your love will make you know me. Your love will make you know me. And when Baba uses the word know me, It means not in the sense of I know Baba. It means that you will become one with Baba, because the highest level of knowledge is oneness with God. So if your love, I'm very sorry, your love will make you know me. But that is a type of love which is so supreme, so divine, so pure, so unadulterated, that we are so one pointedly focused on loving God no matter what. Your love will make you know me. If you can make others happy through love without seeking your own happiness, you can free yourself from this bondage. Again and again, Baba is only harping on one aspect, which is easiest, quickest, safest, surest, and that is of loving God. And by loving God, it doesn't mean loving Baba in that form or in the frame or in the idol. It means that as well. But basically what Baba is saying is that to love our fellow being, in other words, to give less and less importance, less and less attendance to our own egocentric self. In other words, to think more about the betterment, about the happiness of the others. So here Baba says, if you can make others happy through your love, without seeking your own happiness, as I had said once before, that, what should I say, disinterested love. Disinterested love is the highest type of love. Disinterested means you are not interested in yourself. You are not interested in what is the payoff that I'm going to get when I love somebody. What is in it for me? How do I benefit from what I am giving to somebody else? There is no thought of self-gain. So here Baba says, if you make others happy without seeking your own happiness, you can free yourself from this bondage. The bondage of samskaras, bondage of impressions, bondage of ignorance, bondage of desires, whatever you call it. You can then find me as I really am. Here Baba is emphasizing on loving others and helping others and making others happy, even at the cost of our own happiness. You can then find me as I really am. No sooner do you get that experience, that means finding Baba, then you feel liberated and experience infinite bliss. Because once you are liberated, your experience is that of infinite bliss. And this infinite bliss is eternal, it is perennial, it is continuous, it is without a break. Once achieved, never lost. Then Baba goes on to say, God's grace makes you love me. Now Baba is talking a very high level of love when Baba says, that love is a gift from God to man. You see, so once we get that gift from God, then we start loving Baba, or we start loving God. And that love is not so easy to attain. Baba himself says that that grace or that love is rarely given to anybody, because we do not have the container to contain that grace, to contain that love. It is such a love that we forget everyone and everything. We tend to forget even our own being, and we are like fish which is flopping out of water, wanting to go back to the ocean. That is the longing that love creates. So it's a very high type of love, the divine love that Baba talks about. God's grace makes you love me. My grace makes you one with me. So even after achieving that divine love, you are still in the domain of illusion, Baba says, because there is a dui, there is a big valley between the lover and the beloved. There is still the last vestige, residual of the impression or samskaras, which is contained in what Baba calls as the divine eye or the inner eye, the spiritual eye. So that is still there, and that makes you separate from God. So even though God has gifted you with divine love and we start loving Baba, Baba says, it is my grace that makes you one with me. Because ultimately the end or the goal is to become one with God. If any number of calamities befall you and still you keep a smiling face, this may lead you to become like dust. Dhul, dust means dhul ke saman. And you can become like dust only if you possess the highest type of love for me. This aspect of keeping a smiling face, of keeping a cheerful disposition, irrespective of what we are going through, Baba says it's an art to look cheerful. One must cultivate that art of looking cheerful, because Baba says, I say to you, that remain happy under all illusory circumstances. One can only remain happy and cheerful under all circumstances if we are truly anchored in Baba's love, truly anchored in the belief that everything except Baba is an illusion, is not a reality, is a passing show, is impermanent, is just a dikhawa, is just a bhram. It has no astitva or reality. And if we are not just speaking, anchored in that belief, then no matter what happens, you will continue to love Baba, you will continue to hold on to his daman, and you will continue, when I say you, it includes me as well. So we will continue to have a cheerful disposition, a cheerful. So here Baba says, if any number of calamities befall you and still you keep a smiling face, this may lead you to become like dust. Dust has no existence or no will of its own. It is applied to the forehead. It is used to, to bartan majing, as we call it. It can be just thrown into the air and it will go wherever the wind takes it. In other words, it has no will of its own. It is utterly resigned to whatever happens to it. So Baba says there can be no better example of complete surrender except to be like giving the example of dust, become the dust at the feet of the perfect master. So here Baba says this may lead you to become like dust, and you can become like dust only if you possess the highest type of love for me. In other words, we all go through difficulties, we all go through problems, we all go through ups and downs in life. But if our faith is firm in Baba, if our both the hands are holding firmly to Baba's daman, if we are totally resigned to loving him and holding on to him, then Baba says that you will become like dust. To love God as he ought to be loved, you must live for God and die for God. This we have done it several times, that dying for God does not mean that you just kill yourself or jump out of the window and say, oh God, I'm dying for you. Dying for God means dying in the real sense. It means dying to our false lower self. It means dying to our separative, limited, egocentric aspect of ourself, dying to our desires, to our wants, to our clinging to so many things. So if we die in that sense, then we are actually living for God. So here Baba says, you must live for God and die for God. That's the meaning of dying for God, knowing that the goal of all life is to love God and to find Him as your own self. The whole purpose of this huge creation, entire creation, hinges on only one, not two, only one aspect, and that is through the experience of duality within the creation, we have to come out of duality and experience our oneness with God. That is the sole purpose. There is no other purpose for the whole gamut of creation. Baba sometimes would call the word pasara, all this pasara. You know, we say pasara is all here, there, scattered, everything. You know, all the planets, all the stars, all the Milky Way, all whatever. It has but one purpose, to make the Creator realize, or rather, thank you, darling, to make the creature in creation realize that he himself is the creator. That is the only, and so how beautifully, I would say we are so fortunate that at least theoretically, forget about how much we practice, at least theoretically, intellectually, we now know what is our purpose in life. What is the purpose for which we have got this body? By all means, we have our spouses, we have our children, we have our parents, we have our mother-in-laws, we have our possessions, we have our homes, cars, ghoda, ghadda, whatever, we have everything. But they are not of importance, they are of secondary, tertiary, whatever you call it, important. The most important thing is to find out how we can realize our own self as the creator. So here ends the second chapter as well. If anybody has any questions, please ask. If you start asking, then I will remove my headphone. Yeah,
And
yeah. So I can, 1 minute. Well, I can. Go ahead.
Dilshad, you can unmute.
A little loudly.
Jai Baba, am I
Jai
audible?
Baba.
Cyrus T, this chapter you said is 18. So previous one was page 17 or chapter 17?
Chapter 17.
Chapter 7. Chapter 7.
17.
The chapter and the page are the same thing. There are no separate page numbers.
Okay.
Huh?
My question is that when you say about giving happiness or spreading at the cost of one's own happiness, as much great that it sounds, is it also imply one's discomfort in terms of physical discomforts or any other?
See, basically, I got your point. I got your
My
point.
question, I have two sub part also.
Go ahead.
One is that in the gross world, again Baba himself is the creator who has given certain limitations or certain inadequacies. So if one can really control or reduce that, that's fine. But if it is coming in the way of if one is having only one leg, then one can only do so much. So how does one describe that? And the second part is that when you said something about your love will make you know me. So if you can please, you said something very nice which I skipped. So if you can please repeat that. Thank you.
Okay, first and foremost, if I understood your question, because I heard only with 1 ear, okay, is that this is a very high level of being able to please somebody even at the cost of our own happiness. My personal understanding is one may have to, at our level of understanding, one may have to use discrimination as to what tantamounts to, what means helping somebody or making others happy. I had given an example of if somebody is in a habit of drinking. Sorry, 8 minutes. Somebody says, you know, give me some money, I want to enjoy myself over a drink. Now, whether you would do that, you might do it once or you might do it twice. But then you will say, no, actually you are spoiling him. So the real help can only be given, Baba says, once you achieve God realization. Right? So you need to discriminate between what is helping others and what is spoiling others or making somebody dependent upon us. You got my point? So that is one thing. So can you just take that, please? Okay. So that was one thing. The second, you were saying about what? About know me. Baba saying that you will know me. Is that what you were saying?
Cyrus Ji, whatever you said before, I don't know, there is some mic open, I couldn't hear a thing.
Okay.
Mic was open and I just... And
No, we could hear everything, Cyrus. It was very clear.
okay, I will then...
Okay, I'll repeat, Dilshad. What I'm trying to say is, my personal opinion, I'm saying that we cannot for all times, I'm not saying we cannot, I don't for all times take Baba's messages literally. That means we need to exercise a certain amount of discretion, discrimination in interpreting those messages, and the best guide would be your own heart. If you're going to help somebody and in your heart you very strongly get an intuitive message that no, don't do this, it is going to the wrong place, it may be misused, even though that person may make a drama or an appearance, please help me, I am both bhukha hu, I have not done. But if in your own heart your conscience says, because I have seen people like the other day you talked about not giving money but giving something like biscuits and all that. I have known of people who would take biscuit packets and stuff like that and again go back to the same shop and sell it. So for example, if a 10 rupee ka biscuit packet you give it to them, those people will go back and say, "Ki aap 10 rupees mein becho, mujhe 5 rupiya de do." So they will get that 5 rupees. So in other words, one need to constantly have recourse to our own conscience, to our own inner voice, to our own intuition in doing what we feel is right or wrong. Okay, go ahead, Dilshad. You unmute yourself. Unmute. Yeah.
I was waiting for the host to allow me to unmute.
Yeah. Okay, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just expressing.
You got my point.
Cyrus Ji, my question was slightly different. I'm saying that if I have, say for example, I'm just throwing it, if I have diabetes or I have blood pressure and I have certain conditions.
No, then I got. Then you shouldn't, because then you will not make yourself capable of doing it. It's as simple as that. So that's why I say that
no,
when Baba says
at the
this,
cost of one's happiness.
yeah, correct. But happiness is a different thing, which means you would deprive yourself of something and give something to somebody.
Somebody wrote,
that's understandable. But if you cannot get up from your bed, you are sick, and somebody is saying, please come and help me to get up and take me to the toilet or whatever, you can't do it. So when you can't do it, you cannot do it. But as I said, this is my take. It all, see again here on this platform, we are not saying what, I cannot say what you are supposed to do. It's each individual's, at the spur of the moment, you are the man of the match, you are the man at site, on the spot. So you need to take your decisions based on that particular scenario and that particular point in time. So don't expect, anybody, I'm not talking about myself or anybody who conducts such sessions, They are no better than you. Let me tell you, we are all in the same boat, you see. So I can only guide you in the sense that guide you to your own conscience and say that you do whatever your conscience tells you in a particular place at a particular time, in a particular scenario, whatever you intuitively feel, do that. That would be being honest. Got it?
Yes, and the second question was about know me. So you had said something very nice. If you can please
What I
repeat.
said was knowing him. The highest aspect of knowing him is to become one with him. So that is what Baba says, that if you love me, then you will know me. Know me does not, there are different types of knowings. Baba had said one, that there is an intellectual knowing. Like for all of us right now, we intellectually know the existence of God. Intellectually, no further. That is the least form of knowing. Then there are peers, which mean those on the sixth plane of consciousness who actually know God through actual seeing him in everyone and everything. That is another type of knowing. But still that knowing falls short of the real knowing. And the real knowing is becoming one with him and really know that I am God. Yeah, experiencing. Thank you. Experiencing oneself. So in other words, it all depends on where you are stationed. Based on that, you interpret what is knowing Baba. Got me?
Thank you so much. Appreciate your patience.
Welcome,
Thank
Jai
you.
Baba. Anybody else?
Meher. Meher has a question.
Please go ahead.
Unmute yourself, please.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Cyrus uncle, I was just talking to some people just now on the group also before you entered. I was very against a few people. If they love God, this is it. If they love God, why do they reject others and not help in this?
Why do they?
Reject.
Okay.
They don't this thing.
But just now you rejected them, no?
No, I didn't. Somebody was rejecting this
Right.
thing.
But in
Somebody
turn,
else was trying to reject it.
Yeah.
And this thing. I was saying, no, you must help. I said, if you can give one person, it may be a poor or a non-poor person who had lost their job just now. What happens? I said. So I just was praying to Baba as this thing who I have next to me all the time. And I just prayed to Baba and I said, Baba, I need your help. How would you help me? And he spoke to me in his words and he helped me in his own words. So I really feel really happy because some people were just thinking, no, they know everything. They are this thing. Why should we help a poor person who has lost their job? I was
But
really...
Meher, I got your point, Meher. I appreciate your, I would say, reaction to their behavior. I appreciate that also. But there will come a time in your life, as it has come in many people's life, that we are concerned with our own growth. We are not concerned with judging and evaluating others, whether they are right or wrong, is their concern with Baba. Baba is there to check them, correct them, or punish them, whatever it is. Our focus and our concern should always be I and Baba. Because in my life also, as you rightly say, there are many people who I feel may not be doing the right thing. But I don't criticize them. I don't say anything to them. If they come to me for counseling, I say, in my opinion, this is the right way of doing it. Other than that, I do not get upset with their behavior with somebody else, or even forget about somebody else, or even their behavior with me. Because I am concerned with I am concerned, accountable, and responsible only and only to Baba. We should not bother about what others are doing and what others are saying, because if we were to do that, we would lose our focus and we will get waylaid into thinking what is BJP doing, what is Congress doing, what is this fellow doing, what is that, or what is even Baba lover doing, or what is somebody who is very senior Baba lover doing, and saying, let them do whatever they want to do. It is none of our business. You see, what I'm trying to convey,
Yes.
Meher, is that if we do that, then we lose our focus on Baba, and there is a possibility that we are wasting our precious time and energy in loving Baba and in holding on to him. So our concern should be just us and not anybody else. Okay?
Like today, my rickshaw driver, he's very poor. He lost his job just now because he was not earning and everything. I'm going on saying I have no passengers and I can't go out and everything in this month.
Okay.
And today, somebody from my building was giving food, dry things like rice, dal, and all. I said, why can't you give him also? He's just a poor person. Give him. We can give a biscuit packet to somebody on the road. We can give anything. We just give bread to some people, just
Okay.
one piece of bread. I said, you can give him also. So with Baba's love, I spoke to Baba and I had it given to him.
Okay, fine.
That was
So
my
in other words, what again I'm saying the same thing. Do not be concerned with what others are doing or not doing with others. Our concern is what we are doing or not doing in connection with what Baba has asked us to do or not do. Okay?
Okay.
Jai
Thank
Baba.
you.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Mer Krupa.
Priya,
Come
Priya.
in.
Priya,
Come in. Oh, who's it?
Priya, speak up.
Come. Come, Priya.
Hi, Sarasankar.
Jai
Hi.
Baba dear.
Hello, Jai Baba. So I had two things I wanted to ask. One is you say the way to love Baba is to love people in your life.
One of the ways,
And
yeah.
one of the ways. And although it's difficult, it's still something one should strive towards. So I'm sort of wondering if by loving Baba more, will one come to a point where we start loving other people more
Yes,
and start accepting
very
other
true.
people more?
Very true. Because once we love Baba intensely, we realize his presence in each and every one. And so automatically you will not see that person as that person, but you will see Baba in that person and automatically start loving him. So what you're saying is very right, that if you really love Baba intensely, a time comes when we are able to see him in each and every one, and that will help us to love those people, or rather love Baba in those people. So right.
Thank you.
You said two
Second
things.
thing, second thing is I want to know if there are any anecdotes among Baba lovers and Mandali people on how to fiercely love Baba. How do you love Baba? How does Soumya love Baba? And like
Baba,
because
Baba does not
Okay.
want us to fiercely love him. One person I knew was Aloba ji. If you have heard of Aloba, Baba's disciple, he was fiercely loving Baba to a point where he would get into a fit and he would fall at Baba's feet. And several times Baba would say that his love frightens me. His love frightens me. And Baba would give him restrictions, not to come close to him and all that. So when I say fiercely, I don't mean physically fiercely, but internally, every moment we must, we must have that connection with Baba internally. Everything that we do, we are reading, we are walking, we are traveling, we are cooking, we are, every time, now and then, you must develop a link. It's a link between you and the master, Baba. And once you keep doing that, the link becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And then a time comes when you don't have to force yourself to think about Baba. It just becomes your second nature. Automatically, Baba is with you. He's all over you. He's all the time with you. As a result of which you don't need to actually remember him. It becomes an automatic process. You got me? I don't know if I'm answering what you are asking.
Cyrus, tell us some Alobaji story, na?
No, 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 no.
It's good fun, yeah.
Frankly, I don't know any.
Okay.
I'm not prepared for that. Maybe since you brought up this topic, I am just thinking aloud that we are doing reading on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. So one day, one of these days, we should keep only for stories and anecdotes. One of these days. So
Do a
that
Saturday.
it becomes a little light. Sorry?
Do a Saturday if you want. I'm okay with it. Or
I don't know why I'm not able to get the screen.
not getting the screen.
It's on. We can see you.
Oh no, there's something gone wrong with the screen.
Net must be less.
Anyway,
we can see you. We can see you.
But anyway.
No,
Ah,
I was saying, Cyrus, that you can do it on a Saturday. If the other days you're doing certain.
No, but Saturday you already dedicated to reading Meher Baba calling. You want me to stop that and do the other?
No.
I mean, I have taken up this book. We have taken up this book solely because you wanted it to be taken up. Otherwise, we would have done it somewhere. So the ball rests in your court to inform.
No, we'll do on Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Let people get heavy and go to sleep on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. So Wednesday is the day for what should I say?
Stories and sharing.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, stories.
Yeah.
Wednesday is the day for stories. So henceforth, every Wednesday we'll do some stories and let it be open session in a sense. If you have some stories to narrate, you are welcome to narrate that as well. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So now anybody has any other question or we'll read third.
Pari and Ram after that.
Okay.
Go Pari, unmute yourself.
Hello, Jai Baba.
Yes, Pari. Jai Baba dear.
Cyrus uncle, I wanted to know that when Baba said be cheerful under all circumstances, I understand that logically. But on a day when I am feeling low, shouldn't I acknowledge the fact that I am feeling low rather than just remain? I mean, how can I distinguish then between being real and being a hypocrite by saying, oh, everything is perfectly all right when it isn't? I am not feeling perfectly all right. So in my heart of hearts, I need to at least acknowledge that, right?
Yes. I
And
agree
then
with you.
move forward.
Yeah. I agree with you that you need to acknowledge. One. Number two is once you know that even after acknowledging, you can always talk to yourself and say, I do acknowledge that I am worrying, I am fearful, I am feeling loneliness, I am agitated, I am whatever, After acknowledging that, you talk to yourself, but Baba says that this is all an illusion. Baba says that this is not a reality. Baba wishes and Baba wants that I should show a cheerful disposition. That means in spite of the fact that you are, inside you are not very happy about it, on the outside you are showing a cheerful disposition, a cheerful face that to me Baba would like. Because even during the new life phase, people, the new life companions were going through tremendous upheavals, tremendous difficulties and problems. If you read Baba's new life, you will realize what sort of life God has led along with his companions. And yet, one of the laws, one of the rules was that you must never show sadness, unhappiness on your face. So the moods, yes. So in other words, they were trained to show a happy, cheerful disposition, countenance, in spite of suffering within. In my understanding, that should be a lesson for each one of us as well. So I do appreciate, Pari, that we all go through these ups and downs in life. But if we talk to ourselves, telling ourselves that Baba says it's an illusion, then we might be able to come out of it sooner than later.
And And suppose if I need to go to a counselor, like, when I was in that phase of coming to accepting my blindness after I had turned completely blind, I was going for counseling because I couldn't reach that acceptance on my own. So for those 45 minutes, I am expressing how low or how depressed I was, or how I had hit rock bottom. So was that going against what Baba said?
The
Because
point is, I would look at it this way. If you think that by exhibiting your lower self, you are able to get rid of it in 45 minutes and then you are fresh again, then I personally feel that it could be a type of therapy. Like, for example, there is a therapy that when you feel angry, very angry, you are supposed that there are therapies there are therapists who will take you to a room which is like a soundproof room, and there will be all kinds of, the boxing pads and all that, and you are asked to shout, you are asked to swear at somebody, you are asked to box everybody, and then after 15-20 minutes you feel, I now feel better now, and then you come out. So if that is the therapy that you are, if that takes the mode of a therapy, then perhaps I feel it should be okay. But don't get so addicted to the therapy or the therapist that you need to do it over and over again. Every single day it should reduce in its intensity and reduce in its time. When one fine day you will find, I don't need it anymore, I am perfectly in control of my emotions. So I wouldn't say that this is wrong or bad. Don't link it with Baba saying. Just think to yourself that this is a therapy for you and you are doing it, and in my opinion it should be fine. Okay.
Yes, and I had one last request. When you do the storytelling session, please keep 10 minutes for Soumya auntie singing as well.
Arey wow. Yes. Why 10 minutes? Much more than that. I will. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I don't know who is next because I see many. No. Let the postman. Let the postmaster do his job. Whosoever is controlling.
Ram is waiting.
Delna today.
Let's Ram unmute and speak first. And
Delna, you allow the person in, whosoever.
Ram.
Go ahead.
All right. Hey Baba, can you guys hear?
Baba,
I'm just going to read out a small snippet, about happiness.
Can you speak a little loudly?
There's a lot of disturbance.
I'm getting deaf day by day.
Okay, let me see if I can increase the volume.
No, you can't increase that volume, no. That way you'll hear me more.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
There's too much of disturbance, Ram. When you're talking, there's too much of disturbance.
I'm just wearing my headphones, as you can see, and nothing else.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just, as I said, I'm just going to read a snippet about what Baba said about happiness.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the true happiness begins when one learns the art of adjustment to others.
Right adjustment, yeah.
And and the right adjustment involves self-forgetfulness and love. And hence arises the spiritual importance of transforming a life of the limited self into a life of love. So that's what I just wanted to read it out.
Thank you. I think it's a very profound statement of when a man learns the art. It's an art.
Yeah.
Of what? Right adjustment to other people. And right adjustment involves self-forgetfulness, which to me would mean having no ego or very little of your own personal ego, and love. And where there is love, there is no question of anything, because when you love somebody, you just love. You do not find faults with the other person. You do not see anything negative in the other person, and you are happy, and therefore you are happy. Okay, thank you for sharing, Ram.
Okay. Thank you.
Let Delna say who's next.
Delna has unmuted me, so I'm guessing
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
next.
of course.
So this is just to add to what Pari had to say, because this is how I worked on at it when Baba says to be cheerful. So the way I would look at it is two things it does. A, when I'm cheerful, I affect a lot of people around me. So when I'm sad, it really brings the energy of the whole house or whoever I'm meeting down. This one thing I came face to face after listening to Baba when he says, be cheerful. So this is one thing. And the second thing is, it's not that you need to be blind towards what you're actually authentically going through. No. But it's just that we don't need to have that behavior and get angry or annoyed or whatever, because we are dealing with that. Sure, you go to the therapist, come face to face for whatever you're going through. Absolutely, because over there, she or he is trying to help you come out of the whole thing, the whole feeling of being low. But at the same time, having a good cheerful disposition means you don't have to look sad and be crying. Because when you have a smile on your face, what you start feeling also changes.
Absolutely.
And this is what I got from Baba. So I just thought of sharing this.
And I just felt it when you smiled just now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, dear. So it's a very, 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 very well said that it is the law of as if. We call it law of as if. As if I am happy, I am behaving as if I am happy, and then actually happiness comes to us. The way you behave, it reflects. Life is a reflection of what you are. Excellent. Thank you. Who else now? Elna?
Yes, I just wanted to add into what Pari said is that sometimes there are occasions or situations in life. Depression is also very chemical oriented and biological basis, as we know and more about science. So it is important, as she said, to acknowledge first also that one has a pathology or a situation.
Right.
And come to grips with it and take appropriate help, because most of the time there is so much of stigma attached to taking psychological help.
Right.
Second, I wanted to also ask you is that when you said that in the new life, Baba used to train the Mandli to be able to project happiness, though they were having a tough time in terms of surviving and all that. So, but in common parlance for people like, I mean, me or ordinary people, I won't say you, if we do not again show what is going through us or we pretend, then that would be again hypocrisy.
Go ahead.
And one thing which has brought me very close to Baba is the concept of honesty and hypocrisy, which I have been always very attached to, or attached to is not the right word, but it's in a part of our personality. So, it is also a very thin line that one cannot just be hypocrite, just show happiness for the sake of it. I think Mansi said very rightly that one is conscious of the family. And before I go, Katie Mystery has been trying to put her hand up. I think she may be having an issues of putting it digitally. So I think Katie Mystery, please. Sorry, Delna, I just want to observe that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Katie, unmute yourself.
Okay,
yeah.
I had a lot of problems in my life, so I also had to go to a psychiatrist, and they were giving sleeping pills, tranquilizers, and that I used to take, and I could not sleep without that, and I used to read Baba's book and doze off to sleep, do my prayers, Zoroastrian prayers, plus read Baba's book. And then a few days I told Baba, now I'm fed up of these pills. Please help me to get over it. I don't want to take tranquilizers. I don't want to do. I started reducing the dose, and believe me, from 0.2 mg I came to 0.5 mg.
Wow.
Excellent.
And because of the problems in my life, marital problems,
Very
and
true.
I got to a stage where I wanted to commit suicide. But it was the Baba lover who brought me to Baba. So I have been coming to Baba since 1 year, not more. So I don't know much about it.
Excellent. So this is what happens when you
Baba, help me to reduce the dose. I asked, please help. I don't need any psychiatrist. I don't need anything. You help me. And in this open forum, I feel I was reluctant to say, but with his help, I could reduce my dose. That also was a big achievement for me.
Correct. No, in fact, it is good that you openly said it, because we are all a family. We are all a Baba family here to help each other, and
So
it is such a good experience.
You must take his help to overcome problems because
Yeah.
I used to take Rivotril, those are very high power drugs because
Yeah.
I was totally in the dumps.
Yes,
But
yes.
I've
So
come
in
out
other
of it.
words, when you beseech Baba, implore him to help us, he does help. And this is one case where we are seeing that she reduced her dosage, and we hope that you don't need any of this
Thank you.
psychedelic, whatever you call it, drugs for sleeping.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you
my
for
children
sharing,
call-
Katie. Thank you.
Children call me drug addict, you know. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yes,
Thank you for
thank you
sharing.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I suppose, are we done with all the questions?
There's Rakesh Gupta who wants to speak.
Rakesh Gupta, yeah, sure.
Go Rakesh, you can unmute
Yeah.
yourself.
Jai Baba Starji. Just continuing with this talk of, the new life where Baba asked or like trained the Mandli to remain cheerful despite whatever was going through within them.
Yes.
And like Elna said that isn't it hypocrisy to not acknowledge what you are truly going through? I mean, what just I want to ask and, say also that is it not the part of your spiritual training that you are able to step aside the real you from the emotional body of yours, which is going through
Great.
all the pain and
Great thought.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once that's your spiritual training, so once you are true to yourself, the true yourself, then you're not being hypocrite. You acknowledge and realize that
Yes.
it is not you who's feeling so low and down. The real you is, stationed in Baba
Absolutely.
and enmeshed there.
Absolutely.
He's always thinking of him. So how can being with Baba and you still remain uncheerful, sad, or anyway low?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I said to Pari, that you need to talk to yourself and say, yes, I am going through all this. But Baba says this is all an illusion. This is not a reality. So why don't I just come over it? Why don't I overcome it? Thank you very much for sharing, Rakesh. Very, very well put that you need to distinguish between the so-called false identification with the self and the real you. And when we keep on harping on that, there may come a time when we will actually go through everything with a very smiling face, knowing that all this is just illusion, it's just a cinema show that is going on, and I am not involved in it at all. My real I is absolutely blissfully untouched. Thank you. Thank you, Rakesh.
Can I share something, please?
Who's this I?
Me. I can't.
The real I or the false I? Oh, the false I wants to share something.
Find my digital hand, so it's my real hand going up. The thing is, what Pari said and what Rakesh said, I just have something to add to it. Understanding, yes, if you're with Baba, you should be able to understand the real and the illusion part of it. But for me, I mean, I don't know how many know about Ria, but when Ria was in the hospital, even though I was a very carefree person and I never believed that God punished, everything completely changed the moment Ria was in the hospital. For me, it was God is punishing me because I would have done something wrong back then. It is only when Farzan walked into my life and she made me realize that God is loving and not fearful. And then I had two choices. What were the two choices? Either the problem is there, if I have a solution to it, correct? But the two choices were either I go through that suffering, either by crying or by smiling it out and making a difference in someone's life. And I chose to make difference. I chose to be the difference, not cry my whole journey through it. I chose to be happy. And I think that helped the whole process, and coming to Baba and understanding how he gives you the strength when you come to him. So it's all baby steps. We all take our baby steps. So, I guess Pari will find her steps slowly as she keeps holding on to Baba and not letting go of him.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. What is this, clapping or what is it? Is it a finger or clapping? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Kajal.
Oh, sorry?
Kajal.
Okay. Where's Kajal?
She put her hand up.
My own video here. I can only see the hand. I can't put on the screen.
Never mind, Kajal. Go ahead.
The question is, I'm first of all thankful to Pari to ask this question. I had the same for my own self. Besides that, what I wanted to ask is that when you have a kind of a particular feeling towards somebody, and a family member or a friend or somebody who you've been very close to for all this while, but maybe because today there is a lot of other kind of inward searching that you are doing, you know, and we are learning new things every day. There is a kind of a kind of a feeling that comes in within the person where you feel that, you know, that anger or maybe a kind of any feeling, how, and you know that if you express that out, it's going to hurt that other person. But by not expressing it out, you're lying to yourself. You're yet being the same, you're yet doing the same things, you know, just because it's a feeling that that's what's going to, is keeping it all going. You understand?
Yeah.
Deep down and within, you know that that's not true for myself now. I do want other things in life. I may probably looking at the same thing, but in a different perspective. But I am not able to maybe, you know, bring it out to the other person, thinking that it will get only unhappiness to them. So how is something like that needed to be handled? I mean, I always normally, as of right now, during these sessions, just say, Baba, please take care of it. I write it, put it across, or, you know, things like that. But as sometimes when that situation is so face to face and, you know, the whole calmness or that whole thing gets lost, then that whole mind goes back into a whole.
See, I would suggest you call me on a one-on-one basis, because we need to go into the depth of the situation. The best would be keep your communication channels open to talk with the other person and say, well, this is what I get irritated or I get very triggered when this is what happens or when you behave like this. And I would very much like that you don't do certain things which triggers me, because I then get angry. And in a fit of anger, I say something, it would be definitely hurtful to you. And if I don't say it, then it is hurting me. I mean, it's a one-on-one thing. It can't be a generalized, you know, one size fit all type of a suggestion. So if you want, as I said, you're welcome to call me. We can talk in depth, you know, as to what exactly is the scenario and how exactly. But what you said before was the best thing, that you ask Baba to take care of the situation. Baba, I am unable to take care of it. Please handle this for me. And by and large, Baba either softens the whole situation or completely handles it for you. That is my experience.
But I do keep this particular thing always in mind about the real happiness kind. So I keep feeling that, no, if I express this particular thing out, which I have in a very humble way, said it across to the person, but it has somehow always hurt, or, you know, it's made a distance further than actually feeling that, no, it could yet balance out. So
no, again, as I say, it's very hypothetical unless and until we go deep into the aspect of what exactly is the situation. But as I said, you're welcome to call me. Okay, Kajal, because I don't want to give a generalize. I did give whatever I had to give. But other than that, I don't know. We need to go deep into that. Okay.
Thank you very
much. So shall we call it a day? I think we were ready.
There is Pari, Ram and Meher. They're still continuing.
Somebody has to still say something?
Yes, Pari wants to say something, then
Okay,
Ram and then
please go ahead. I am okay with a little delay.
Okay.
Yeah, Pari, go ahead.
Cyrus uncle, I just wanted to let everyone know that now I'm very comfortable with my blindness. This conversation, I just wanted clarification, because I have taken counseling at some point in time to come to that acceptance stage. And when I was turning blind, I didn't have Baba in my life. But I want to share something very personal in terms of my counseling, that even though I did not have Baba in my life, he was still looking out for me. So can I share that experience?
Yeah, why not? If you feel okay to share, why not?
Yes, so this was like, this counseling started after I turned completely blind, and turning completely blind was over a period of like, say, 5 to 6 years. So it was very, very gradual and very suffocating, going from being sighted to being completely blind.
Yeah.
And that's why we decided that I needed counseling to come to terms with it. And I was going to my counselor for almost 6 months, and I was making progress, but as you know, it takes time. There was this, I was a teenager back then, and a blind friend of mine had invited me for his birthday party. And I went for that party, and when I walked into the room, there were a group of sighted people and there were a group of blind people, and I went into such a state of panic because I felt I didn't fit in with the blind, because I had not yet accepted my blindness.
Okay.
And I am no longer sighted, so I don't fit in with the sighted. So I felt I had no place in this world, and what am I doing? And you know, by Baba's grace, that was the time when cell phones had just come into whatever invention, discovery, I don't know what. But anyways, there were cell phones. So I immediately called up Mummy and I said, you need to pick me up from this venue. I cannot stay for the party. Mum was in the locality. So she came, she picked me up, and I told her, Ma, if you take me back home, I'm not going to survive the night. I will kill myself. This is my rock bottom and this is my cry for help. You have to take me to my counselor. And Mummy said, but what if she has another patient? I said, I don't mind just sitting in her waiting room, but I need to know that she is there. So we went to the office, and this is like completely Baba and his grace. I walk into the office and my counselor comes out into the waiting area, and she sees me and she says, what happened? And I said, I just need to sit with you, you know, because this is the whole scenario that I went for this party and I didn't know where I stand in the world, and I can't handle it. And she turns around and she says, you know, Pari, for the last 3 years, this particular appointment slot has been booked by a regular patient of mine, and he's never cancelled on me. And today, just half an hour before the appointment, he calls up and gives me a very random reason and says, sorry, but I cannot turn up under any circumstances. And that is how my appointment is free just now. So we went into the office and I cried my heart out for 45 minutes, and that woman just let me cry. And after that is when, you know, the cleansing of the soul happened. So in hindsight, though I was not aware of Baba and his touch in my life, he was there. So that was just my healing process. So because I had gone through counseling, I wanted to know whether that was okay or not okay. But now I'm fine. So thank you. I've spoken a lot, sorry.
No worries. There's a... Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, everyone's there. Now there's, I think, Ram. Where's Cyrus and Soumya?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
I think Cyrus is gone. He logged out by mistake.
I think he got disconnected or something.
Yeah. But Ram, you can continue.
No, what I wanted to say is, you know, I mean, just being with the Mandali, and one thing I have learned is from them, just accept things the way they are. And also with friends and family, accept them for who they are and what they are. So never try to impose, you know, your value system on others. This is what, you know. And also, you know, personally, you know, I mean, what I have seen in just going to the hospitals, you know, with the Mandali, being there for them, the way they used to talk to nurses, the way they talk to the doctors, you know, and it was just amazing. And they would not complain. They would not complain about anything. They would just accept it. I'm here. Something has happened. Baba made it happen. I have to accept it. If there is a doctor, if he can make me better, he'll make it better. If he is not going to be able to make me better, then I'm going to accept it. That's what I've learned. All right, I'm done.
Okay, so we end the meeting?
I think so, because Cyrus and Soumya come back.
Yeah. Then now you can unmute the mic. Everybody can unmute the mic.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Avtar
Meher
Baba ki jai.
Avtar
Avtar Meher Baba
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Avtar Meher
Avtar
Baba
Meher
Baba
Baba
ki
ki
jai.
jai.
Thank you,
you.
Baba. Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
Yes,
Thank you,
Baba.
Cyrus.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Yes.
you, Kitty
Thank
Mystery, for
you.
sharing.
You can go for the Aarti and then
Thank
another
you, Kitty
meeting.
Mystery.
Zoom Aarti.
Yeah, the Zoom Aarti at 5:30.
Yeah, 7. What 5:30?
I mean, my 5:30 was 7, yeah.
By
Yeah.
5:30.
Samadhi time 7 o'clock. Everybody is welcome.
Rakesh, God Speak next week is on Saturday, no?
What?
God
No,
Speak.
Wednesday and Friday.
No, but because of that silence day.
That's That's only next Friday. Otherwise,
Oh.
the normal case, because is on Wednesday and Friday. Friday
Yeah,
being
yeah,
10th of July, Silence Day,
Okay.
we can do.
I missed it yesterday then. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Gospel
you.
has become very interesting. Even if you guys want to join in the middle, is excellent. You know, you're on the 7th plane. What all happens in the 7th plane? What all the magics you can do? Everything is very interesting.
We not read the first plane. Where we'll read the 7th plane.
Arey, you don't need to be there. Yeah.
wants to
Baba is there,
say
na, he'll
something,
jump you
yeah.
straight. Yeah. You don't have to bother about all that.
Thank you. Thank you, Rakesh.
Amita, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm unable to download the audios that you're sending. Any particular app that I need to download? Because earlier ones I could easily get it.
On the WhatsApp, you can't download it?
Yeah, WhatsApp audio file she's saying she cannot hear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which phone do you have?
I've got this Android phone.
You have Google Play?
Yes.
So it works on Google Play. Maybe
Because
update your Google Play.
Okay, fine.
Just see that, na? Or then we'll suggest you some other player. Just download that and then it will support it.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
But the Baba passages which you send on the group, how do you copy it? Like, is there some process?
You go, you select it, you press copy, you come back over you go on
Paste.
that and press paste. It gets done like on the computer.
Acha, no, supposing, like I am a faculty, I have to set some papers. So I wanted to copy something from various, books and make a paper.
Some
So
books you can, some books you cannot, because then you need a software. You need to buy a software to copy it.
Acha, okay. Otherwise, I'll have to type it out.
Yeah. Or you like to type it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
To get it.
Rakesh.
Yes.
Rakesh, I missed that Aarti part. Which Aarti are you talking about?
Same 7 o'clock Baba's Aarti. I only do Baba's Aarti. That's it.
Which Myrtle Beach? Are you talking
Yes,
of USA?
Yeah.
Huh?
Zoom. Yeah.
But people are not aware.
They
that
must be. Their choice, no?
Huh?
They must be all knowing it. They all know it.
Rakesh, you always put it up on the group, the link.
Same link. Every day, same link. Yes, the same one. Yeah, everybody comes.
Rakesh, which is the link, Rakesh?
The link
Which is
Send it again.
Excuse me.
I'll send it again. I'll send it right now again.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Can I talk? I'm not talking of that, Aarti. I'm talking of the one which that Meher Akshay does for Pune. It's excellent. It's very good. And it's very intimate and it's very nice. And it's like a proper Aarti, like all the prayers, all the bhajans and everything, plus repetition of Baba's name. It
Put the
happens
link.
every evening.
Share
I sent you the link.
Can Yasmin with us, please?
Yeah, put it on the group now.
Give it, send it to Rakesh,
Yasmin.
and then Rakesh will put it
Yeah,
on.
put it on the group.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Okay?
Okay, Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. See you.
Okay, Jai Baba, everybody.
Jai Baba, Rakesh.
Jai Baba. See you tomorrow.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
5:30 tomorrow.